Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division in the East Coast Tournament. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos and content. If you do want to get text guides and you do want to get personalized training sessions, you can get that through patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We do have a November special there, so check it out. Also, last but not least, visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash content. In this playthrough, you will see my shots, and I'm going to focus on, getting some good content here. We have some drops. There are some tough holes in this tournament that are coming up, especially those for City Park. Look at the right hand side of the game screen. You can find the elevation adjustment for every shot in this playthrough. But also, obviously, if you do have questions, let me know in the comment section below. So let's go with the video. Hole number 1, we play out to the right with this type of wind. You can see I'm playing 4.5 bar topspin and as much side spin to the right possible. I do believe that using a little bit less topspin and then use more side spin is going to be better in the long run, as then you're going to be able to hit great left, and otherwise you will be putting yourself into the bunker. Adjust maximum distance plus 10, so with a 10% over adjustment for the drive, and then we go with approximately 1 ball of curl. Hit great right, and if you're gonna hit great at any side, you're gonna play great right, because that is better than playing great left, even though great left should be fine here. If you do want to take a more conservative route, you play out to the left. Open shot, a little bit tougher second shot. There is a rough bump there, as you can see there in between the two top bunkers, that you can play from the left hand side, and I'm gonna come back to that if that's going to be the way that we play in the tournament. Now, second shot, I'm using as much side spin to the left possible, as we do get a bounce pushing left to right, so the side spin is needed. But also with this type of wind, we cannot prevent ourselves from adjusting down into the sand trap, and adjusting down to a lower point is always going to affect the trajectory, and that's going to be a problem. Coming in hot, but we're taking the eagle here on hole number 1. No elevation for shot number 2. Hole number 2 then, we play with the quarterback, max right spin and 2 bars backspin. You can see we're putting ourselves in absolute minimum distance. Red ring by the rough line, and the only thing we should do now is to hit perfect. You could see at the back end of the green there that there is like a curve on the ball guideline. That means that the green is slopes downhill from there. So the trick here is to get the ball up on the green, fall back down towards the pin. Unfortunately, I hit great left, and that great left is not going to be helpful. It's going to be pushing my ball more to the left, and therefore I'm just going to miss this shot on the left side of the green pin. So for hole number 3, we are going to play with a power 3 ball. It's not really necessary to play with a power 3 ball, but it could definitely help. You can also see that there is snow on the screen. Will we be playing this course with snow? No, we will not. It's just that it's an old recording, because City Park is not available from the second tee. So to be able to provide a recording or like a video, I had to use older recordings. Snow acts like rough. If you do have a superior club here, and with a superior club I'm talking about Apocalypse 6 Plus, maybe even Apocalypse 5 with certain winds, or maybe Thor's Hammer 6 Plus, then you have enough topspin to get the ball to bounce into the rough and roll through the rough over to the other fairway. The thing that you will have to do then is to use the tailwind we're having now, using a power 5 ball like a berserker, and go full blast, trying to bounce just before the rough and the sand, and be lucky, because sometimes even though you hit perfect and you bounce on the fairway nicely, the rough will get the ball to get stuck there, or you will get the ball to roll through. But if you have any other type of wind, or you have an XML7 like I'm having here, which is my best club on this account, then I'm not gonna try for it, because there's no point. 4.5 bar topspin will not make it over. 10% extra for the drive, very important. So when we do get into a situation like that, we are in a disadvantage over those that do have superior clubs. We do need to at least try our very best to give ourselves a decent opportunity from distance. So we're using as much topspin that we can for the second shot, using a big dog or a cataclysm to give ourselves distance. use a little side spin to the left and try to aim for the ball to get on the in between the rough lines here. Now we are dangerously close to the rough there to the right, but in the end it gives us a decent opportunity here from distance. Our opponent played with a sniper, and you can see that the sniper is possible to play with. The only thing to have in mind with the sniper is obviously it does not have the distance as the big dog is having. So when the plan is to only reach as far as possible for the second shot without obviously going into the rough or into the sand and hopefully not have to overpower, then I would say and consider the big dog or the cataclysm to be the club to actually play with, so you don't have to do like our opponent here, and that's gonna end up being not good in many of the cases. Now he's unlucky when he hit good left, which if he would adjusted the shot properly, he wouldn't be into the bunker. So now you can see there is a curve there on the ball guideline. We can use the back end of the green here as well, and that would be a good opportunity. There is multiple ways to approach the pin here. We can go for a dunk, which is one option. We can go for just a bounce up method, or we can go with max backspin, or we can use the back end of the green. The back end of the green will, with even Thorn level 7, give you a very good ball guideline. So I would consider that to be a very strong, strong part in the decision that you are going to make. In this case, I do decide to go with a backspin shot. I hit great, so I would have missed with whatever shot that I would choose to do. But, have a think about it. What would you do? Once again, elevation-wise, we do have 10% for the drive, nothing for second and third shot. Hole number 4, same here, City Park, and we do have snow on the course, which obviously not gonna be something we have in the tournament. Now, we bounce before the rough and the sand, trying to get the route on the right-hand side. The reason we take that route is because the wind is some minor headwind together with crosswind. If we would be having a tailwind, I would go directly over the bunker on the left and bounce that side instead for a better approach than for the second shot. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and a 10% over adjustment works in the way that you play downhill and the ball will then be affected more by the wind. Please check out the elevation video here on the channel if you struggle adjusting for elevation. 4 to 5 bars top spin, as much left spin possible, because left spin is better. If you want to miss into the rough or into the sand at any place, you want to be more towards the left hand side. Like if you see the tree just in the center of the fairway, you want to be in that rough or in that sand rather than you want to be on the right side in the rough or into the sand, because the right side is going to be absolutely terrible, because with a headwind you're going to have a hard time to even reach for the green. Our opponent takes his shot, getting it there, and it bounces, and it has that very glitchy roll here, rolls directly out to the bunker, and that's obviously not gonna be helpful in any form trying to approach for the pin. And also you have the lamp there just in his face. So second shot, no elevation, and here the tricky part is to find a spot that you give yourself a good bounce. I like to use the fairway before the green, as I do feel that the green is a little bit glitchy from time to time. Or not glitchy, it is bumpy. Bumpy is the correct word. But obviously you see how much to the right I am of the pin. I'm trying some type of offset, or that I'm trying to think about that the green slightly slope right to left, which it does, but it's definitely too much, and you're gonna see me miss this shot on the right hand side of the pin. But that's no problem. We're gonna dial it in when the tournament comes. So now we're gonna go to hole number 5. Now it's green again, and it's bright. It's the City Park. We play with our long iron here, which is the Goliath. We're gonna bounce with approximately 2 to 3 bars backspin in tailwind, trying to get over the hump there, or like at least the second bounce on top of the hump, and then roll down towards the pin. I'm using, in my opinion, too much side spin here, which is going to miss to the right. 3 bar side spin would have been perfect for this type of shot. Medium distance with a 10% over adjustment is what you're going to play this shot for here. If we do have a crosswind or we do have a headwind, there is a shot with the Guardian that is a possibility. to go directly at the green and don't have to rely on it bouncing itself up towards the pin. Hole number 6, tough par 5. Now we're gonna come to a couple of tough holes here in a row. And here on the first try, we're gonna play out to the right. You can see I have an extra mile level 8. Here, the plan for me is to bounce on the fairway into the rough and roll out to the fairway. And having an extra mile level 8 will give me a slight disadvantage, as I do not have the distance as an Apocalypse level 5+. But also, for those of you having Apocalypse 6 and 7, and also Thor's Hammer 6 and 7, will once again have a very good advantage over other players. And I want to mention that, because if you do that, you have the top spin enough to make sure that you will bounce, if so in the rough or like over the rough directly, and you will put yourself up for a very nice shot for the pin. 10% extra for your drive. Now in the rough, and I think this is an important thing to have in mind, that even if you try the right hand side with the tailwind that we had, then we can still reach for the green. It's not going to be an opportunity for an albatross, but at least we're going to secure the eagle. And I like shots like that, when we can play a bit aggressive, and even if the result is not what we wanted to, we're still going to be in the run for getting an eagle. The second shot here, I play this one 20% extra. So I play the drive 10% extra and 20% extra from this side. But then you may be wondering, why you have Thomas at 0? It's because you can play it 0, but then you play it more towards the left hand side. You see, if you would be going straight forward here, second shot with a long wood club, then you would be 0. Power slice, follow the money, I was about to say. Max topspin, as much side spin to the right possible. I'm using the quarterback and a quasar. What a combination. We go full power slice to the right. We end up now being behind the trees. But that's kind of planned for it. We know now that we're going to have the trees in our way, but there is also gaps between the trees. As we are so far in front, we're going to have a very low ball guideline to play with, so we can actually attack the pin directly through the trees. It's still going to be a shot where you have to make sure, you really have to make sure here now that you adjust your shot properly. If you don't, you're going to see yourself hitting the trees, and then it's going to be game over getting the eagle. So we go to hole number 7, 10% extra in headwind. I would definitely suggest you to play with a power 3 ball, because otherwise you most likely will go in between clubs. Because in headwind, we're going to play directly at the green. We're going to take away the risk of getting into the bunker or into the rough by playing it directly on green using backspin. And I would consider here to play with the rocket if you can. If you have on the quarterback level 9, that's fine as well. 9 or 10 will definitely work. Or that you do have a Thor's Hammer level 6 plus, that you do have backspin. Of course, an Apocalypse level 6 plus will work as well. And in the end here, you can see having to slightly overpower this one, which is not recommended, but in the end, it's still going to be a better shot than trying to dial it in, bouncing over the obstacles. We do want the ball to obviously fall up there and then fall down towards the pin for a possible hole-in-one. Hole 8, 8 bunkers. That's a ton. 8 bunkers on the fairway. I truly not enjoy this hole. Max side spin to the left, 2 top spin, and we're just gonna play this one very conservative this time around. We're going to try to look for the gap in between the 2 bunkers on the top right. The gap with the fairway there. That's the plan to end up with. So if everything goes as planned, it's gonna be there we want to. Slight overpower, slight curl left. We don't want to use too much curl to the left, and we're gonna danger going into the rough or into the sand there. Bounce on the fairway very nicely. Getting it to, then you stay, and that's perfect. 10% extra for the drive. You can, with the drive, with a tailwind, go with a power slice on this one as well. A power hook. I will get into that if the wind is gonna be in a good way for us. Then we're gonna power slice this into the rough, but we're gonna still be having no problem getting the ball to the green if we just get the ball to bounce on the fairway first. Second shot, no elevation. We use, in this case, no spin. You know, I like shots when we don't have to use spin. But we then gonna have to rely on first a bounce on fairway, then a bounce on the sloped fairway, then a roll on the green. Very tough, very tough sniper shot to dial in any form. We can get close though, and if we're lucky, we might gonna get that in at some point. No elevation for shot number 2 on hole 8. So, and as you can see here, our opponent is in the bunker, he cannot reach. So we go to hole 9, half of the red ring inside the rough to the right, and we're gonna have max side spin to the left and 2.5 to 3 bars top spin, and we're going to have to make sure that we go with half a ball of curl right. Because now we're taking a kind of an aggressive drive, but if we play a safe drive up to the left, that's gonna be worse, because then we cannot reach for the green in 2. 5% extra for the drive, very important, so only 5% extra for the slight downhill approach. If we make that drive in a good way, we have actually a decent chance for the albatross with our sniper. If you do not feel comfortable with the drive, pick another club than the sniper in your bag with more distance or like with more power. That would make it a little bit easier for you, so you don't have to push the drive so hard. Minus 10%, which means that this time we play uphill, and that means that the ball is less affected by the wind than normal. So in this case, a great shot is what helps us big time here, and that's always gonna be nice when you're lucky enough to sink a great shot from distance. So everybody, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Pro and Expert now before the East Coast tournament. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, and I will be there helping you out. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, also hit thumbs up on the video if you enjoy it. Thank you so much, and good luck in the East Coast tournament.